Hi, everybody, and welcome to On the Other Hand. This should be kind of a fun show tonight. Well, maybe I'm pushing it when I say it's a fun show. I invited a very dear friend and a guest who is also a small business owner. He's a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and husband, father, grandfather, and as I said, a dear friend. And the reason I invited Jay Polke was because Jay is a small business owner. And he has a perspective that Murdy Terry doesn't have, because I'm not a small business owner. A lot of people out there don't understand exactly what a small business owner has to put up with. So tonight, we're going to talk to a small business owner. He's going to give all of us a tutorial on owning and running a small business in the state of Connecticut. So welcome, Jay.
Thank you, Murdy.
And aren't you delighted?
Evening.
I gave you that, I put you right on the spot.
Well, that was a good introduction, yes. Thank you very much for that.
Makes me feel
We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we're going to see how good friends we are when this is over, right?
When it's finished, right.
Okay. As I said, I'm not an expert on this. So when I went out this morning and I said, okay, I've got Jay coming and I need to know a little bit about, I don't want to just sit here like a little blob and go, though probably I will anyway. But I thought, let's kind of talk about the challenges, okay, of being a small business owner. Now, when I went out there this morning, I found a couple of things that you can say yes, Murdy, or no, Murdy, okay?
Okay.
It said that the top 3 challenges for Connecticut small businesses are profitability and growth. Understandable, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Government regulations and mandates and other policy decisions that they make, right? And the cost of doing business / taxes in the state of Connecticut. Do you agree that those are the top 3?
That's pretty good, yes. I would agree those are the top 3.
Would you add one?
Well, let's talk about those 3.
Okay,
The regulation of our business. First of all, when we got into the business in 1975, the liquor store business.
Wow, 1975.
Yep,
Okay, yeah.
that's
okay.
the liquor store. I was in the restaurant business from 1968 to 75.
Wow, you were in the restaurant. Oh,
Yes.
good. We could talk about
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's an interesting place. So the liquor store business, we knew what the regulations were going into the liquor store business. And in those days, there were fixed prices in our business. You couldn't sell below a certain price. And it was mandatory. All stores were like that.
And that was the state or federal?
That was state.
State,
Right.
okay.
And eventually all the states changed, and our state changed along with that. And we still were able to make a fair profit at
Right.
that time. And as time went on, regulation got more lenient, and other entities were allowed into the state, which created more of a competitive market, and sometimes not a fair market at times, starting with the regulations that we had at the beginning. So we had to adjust to that, which we have. We have adjusted to that. But the profitability side of the liquor store shrinks all the time. The distillers and the distributors that sell us the goods, they're the ones that really make the profit. The legislators think that we are the ones that make the profit. That's why they're always after us, and they encourage lower prices, which we follow their lead. But they never go after the distributors or the distillers. They can do whatever they want to. So that's kind of a challenge in our how we
to make a profit.
How to make a buck. Yeah,
Exactly.
pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, as we all know, our utilities, as with our house, the price of oil is going up, the price of gas is going up, the price of electricity is going up. So that's a challenge. The rent has gone up, maintenance has gone up, and our profits is going the other way. Our profit keeps going down and down. So it's a challenge. We have to keep coming up with new ways, and sometimes new products. They are coming out with new products all the time that bring people into the store.
Can I interrupt you for just
Sure.
a minute, because I'm going to be very candid and honest. And I never thought about those things you just said. Electricity, gas. I mean, those things that you just say also impact upon, I think, I go in and I buy a bottle of Bailey's. I'm Irish, in case, did you notice? Bailey's. But anyway, okay, so I go in and I buy a bottle of Bailey's, and I just think it's the cost of the Bailey's, and whatever the difference is between what you paid for it and what I paid for it is profit. I never once thought, I mean, Jay, I gotta be honest with you, I never thought about the rent in your building. I never thought about the utilities. I never thought about any of taxes. I never thought about any of those things. So this is enlightening. This is enlightening for all of us. So continue, please.
And on top of that, you can throw in insurance.
Oh, now you're really, I'll never
It's
open
another
a business.
expense,
Yep.
and they keep raising the minimum wage, which we never adhered to the minimum wage anyway. We always paid higher.
Okay.
But now the minimum wage is going higher.
Is it now $12 or is it
I
going
don't
to
know
be?
what the latest one is because we've never paid it. We're always
You're always above it.
over it.
Yeah.
We're always above
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
And trying to get qualified people is a problem
work.
also
Yes,
in our
to
state.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
these are all obstacles of not just in our business, but in every business, every small business. Big business a little bit different.
I was going to say, yeah, if you're a gigantic business and you can have liquor as, I'm thinking about a business where they have the liquor on the side here. You go in one door to get into the liquor store, and then the regular retail stuff is
Yes,
over here.
on the other
I
side.
never stopped to think about
Yeah.
that their costs are much less because I'm sure they share it with both sides of the store.
Well, they split up their expenses.
That's what I
Sure,
mean.
Sure. In our case, we have to, we're an owner-operated family operation.
Yes.
Is what we are.
Right.
And the burden is all on us.
Right.
If we don't produce, it's all on us, and if we don't pay our bills, they close the door. With a corporation that
And everybody
doesn't happen.
suffers.
And
Everybody
yeah,
suffers.
Everybody will suffer.
Your family, not only your family, but
My
the-
family will say they won't suffer because I'll be home more.
yeah, but when you think about it, everybody does suffer because the person you rent the building from suffers because now he's got an empty. I happened to be riding around Cromwell the other day. There are some. You and I did that.
We
when
did
I was
do
first
that.
selectmed,
We did that
went to-
about how many years ago?
I don't want to
7,
even
8
go there.
years?
I don't want to go there.
It's a little more. Yeah.
And you and I rode around when I was first selectman, and
Yes.
you were kind enough to take pictures
Yep.
of the open businesses, and then we had a big.
We made a book.
Yes,
We
we
had-
did.
we had
a
an
book
actual
that was
book on all the
yeah,
vacancies,
On all
yeah.
the vacancies, and when you think about it, I'd like to take a ride around again with just an eye on what is open again, because there have been some turnovers in town.
There has been some turnovers, just to switch from the liquor to the vacant spots here a little bit. When we did our trip, I think we were at our low
Oh, yeah.
at that time.
Yeah, we were.
And since then, we've had some marvelous things happening.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I mean,
Some
we're,
big things
we're
coming.
really on the upswing.
Yes.
Changing our form of government was one. Going
Yep.
from the selectman to the town manager was a big boost for us. We have big names in town like Marshall's now and Starbucks, ShopRite. We're going to be opening a distribution center at the northern end of town that everybody is going to know their name. Everybody, not even in Connecticut or the United States, the world.
Will know that
Everybody
name.
in the world will know the name of this company opening in our small town.
Wow,
in
that's
Cromwell.
great.
This is going to be big news.
Well, I was going to
This
say,
is-
after
this
this
is-
is over, you're going to have to whisper in my ear.
This is big
I
news.
need to go out and buy stock.
This
No, I'm
is
only
big
kidding.
news. I'd like
I'm
to
not
tell you
good
the
at that.
name, but I can't.
No,
The
and I
mayor
wouldn't ask
the
you
mayor will
anyway.
shut me off from any further information at all.
Right. No, I'm only kidding you.
And we have a new hotel going up.
Yes.
Which is marvelous for our corridor, Route 372.
Right.
We have restaurants that are expanding. Zerio's and Cafe Luna are now putting on small banquet rooms to handle the
Now, see,
activity that's going on.
That's really, really good.
So our economy in the town of Cromwell, as we know from our taxes are stable. They haven't gone up in years.
Right, because we are building that.
And you're part of that for some of the deals that you made when you were in office to recapture some of the contaminated properties that were in town.
Yeah.
That was a big boost to our tax base. Otherwise, those properties would still be sitting there. Now
Well,
they're-
that's very nice of you to say
well,
that,
it's
and I
true.
appreciate
Yeah,
that,
I'm
you know?
laying- let's tell it how it is.
Okay, but, all right, let's go back to
Liquor store?
liquor stores and government regulations.
Okay, so government regulations and related to liquor stores. We now have a spurt of breweries popping up all over the place. We had maybe 40 2 years ago, 60 last year, and now I think we're up to 105 breweries.
105 breweries?
Right, in the state of Connecticut. Now, not only do they make beer, which
Yeah.
is product, but they're allowed to have these brew pubs where it's a bar room, is what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so not only do they have their product there, let's say they make 2 or 3 beers.
Yeah,
There's not many
yeah.
companies that make, small breweries that make more than that, the craft
Right.
breweries. And then they're allowed to have guest breweries there. They call them guest taps, which is usually Connecticut beers, but they could have, there's some in Middletown, they have 32 taps, but only 3 are from that brewery there. So it's almost replacing a bar in a sense. And because of the loose regulations that we have in the state to breweries, not that I have anything against
I know,
breweries,
yeah,
I mean,
I know.
the
You're
beers
just-
they make
you're
are
just
wonderful.
telling
You know.
about,
Yeah, I'm just
what's
telling you
going on.
about
Yeah.
what's going on in our business. And it's hurt the sports bars and restaurants, because these
Okay.
people are going to the breweries. Or not all of them, obviously, but some of them are going to the breweries. So that's cutting the pie up in more pieces. And now the brewery also can have food there now. They can make their own food. Or, even better for the brewery, they can have a truck come to
And sit outside.
right to their front door and a pop-up restaurant right there.
Oh, wow. So you're
So-
competing with all this, too?
I'm competing with maybe people that we used to get that used to come in and buy the craft beer in our store,
From you.
now buy that beer at the brewery.
Right.
So that takes away
It takes some
a
of your,
piece,
yeah,
right,
it takes away a bit of your
piece
profit.
of our business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's part of the decline, and I love all these people too. I love the breweries. And,
I know,
you
you're not
that whole-
complaining
whole-
about that.
whole
We're just talking
concept.
about how
Right.
business changes.
Yeah, how things change and regulation has changed this. Before these were not
They were not
allowed, but now.
Yeah.
And they pay different taxes. The breweries pay a different tax. They're allowed a certain leniency on so many gallons per year, whereas we don't have that.
You
So
don't
you
have
can go
that.
into the brewery, you can sit at the bar, you can have a tap beer from that brewery or from a guest brewery. You can have a sandwich if you want it. And you can spend the afternoon there if you want it. And then when
wanted
you
to.
leave, you can buy a 6-pack or 4-pack to take with you
To take with you.
that they used to buy at our store.
And it used to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, because as I said, I'm learning
Yep.
as I go along. Okay. But it used to be pretty regulated that if you were on Willowbrook Road, let's say, and I wanted to have a liquor store within the next mile,
Yes.
they would say no. Am I right?
Yes, there is a population where there's one store allowed for every 2,500 people in that
Oh, it's
in
by
that
people,
town.
not by
Yeah.
by
Right,
locality.
and distance also.
Oh, and distance too. Okay. I was just wondering because, as you said, the regulations have changed and,
They have.
Now if I'm a little brewery, because I don't happen to drink, but if I'm a little brewery, okay, can I be on one street corner and you have another one on the next street corner?
Breweries can pop up just about any place. They have popped up in residential zones.
Are you serious?
Yes, they have very lenient regulation. There's one in East Hampton that every weekend, I'm told, I haven't been out there, they do a lot of business. They have a good product too. But they cause a traffic jam in this residential neighborhood where they're located.
Ooh,
They're
I
at
would
the
be an
end.
unhappy
Oh, yeah,
person.
there's some unhappy residents there.
Ooh, I would
Yeah.
be very unhappy if that happened.
But that goes
Because
back.
residential is residential as
Yeah,
far as I'm concerned.
I know.
Okay.
But at the end of this residential area is another plot of land that happens to be zoned for that type of business. a brewery.
Brother.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of stuff that frightens me a little bit, because I don't want to see the small business person like you that have been in business since 1975, right? Go out of business because you can't compete anymore.
Well, it makes it more difficult. That wouldn't push us out of business, but it shows a somewhat of a little breakdown in our heavily regulated state, which the outcome of that is not determined yet. We will have to look into the future or look back in the rear view mirror someday and say, geez, if we didn't allow all these breweries and the spread of all these alcohol products all over the place, maybe we wouldn't have had an increase in the DUIs, for instance,
Right,
just for an example.
Good point.
You know,
Excellent
we won't know
point.
that until it plays out. And tax-wise, we're not bringing people in from other states. We're working with the same amount of people that are doing the drinking. So tax-wise, our tax collected on alcoholic beverages is probably down in the state of Connecticut, not on the
Well, they're
increase.
making it up in other things.
Well, they are, and we really don't want to promote everybody to drink too much.
No, and I know you never have.
No.
You never have, and you've been always very supportive of the kids in school, and
Yes.
I mean, you're always there for them. You never push your product to anybody that you don't think, and I know how careful you've been about all that. I
Yep.
mean, having known you for a
Yep.
few years.
I'm
you know.
involved with the Middlesex Chamber of Commerce. I'm the past
Chairman of that.
and I am a member of their substance abuse committee and have been for years.
Oh, wow.
You know, as
Oh, wow.
well as the town of Cromwell, the
Oh,
Cromwell
wow.
High School. Yes.
Now, you have to realize that this is a personal thing. And you and I have been friends for a long time.
Yep.
I don't drink because my mother and father were alcoholics.
Yep.
Okay? And I was raised in a foster home. But I have nothing against going out with my daughter and she wants to have a drink.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
Yeah.
Or, like I was just kidding you about being Irish and Bailey's. Well, I'll buy a bottle of Bailey's from you because, to me, it's once a year and I have one glass and I'm a happy camper, and that's that.
Right.
That's
That's an example of it.
It's
Yeah.
exactly an example of it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the fact that you serve on the Substance Abuse Council and you understand.
Yes.
You understand where the limits are. I guess is what I
Well,
want to say.
I've been doing it long enough.
Yeah.
And our staff has been doing it long enough
Right.
that we recognize these things.
Right.
And we don't want anybody. We don't want to serve people that have had too much.
No,
already.
of course, and you never would, and you never would. Absolutely.
Moderation is the best way to go with this.
With anything.
With anything,
Yeah,
pretty much, even water. If you
that's
drink
right.
too much water, you have a problem. But alcoholic beverages are at almost every function.
I know they are.
They're
Yep.
at weddings,
So it's,
anniversaries,
yeah,
birthdays,
yeah.
everything you can
And
think
it's
of.
up to you whether you want to.
Holidays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Drink it or not drink it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, now, I read also that 99.4% of the companies in the Nutmeg State are considered small, according to the Small Business Administration. And these kind of businesses, collectively accounted for more than 735,000 jobs here in Connecticut. Nearly half of all Connecticut private sector employment in 2018.
Yes,
Okay.
that's true.
That's one of the reasons that I really wanted you to come on today. Because being a small business, how do we, and it doesn't matter whether you're a little restaurant or you're a little liquor store or you're a little boutique, okay? How do we continue to support them by not over-regulating them, by not overtaxing them? I mean, what do we do to support these small businesses?
Well, I guess we need more input from small businesses to our legislature
Good point.
to handle that. They have to know what our needs are and what they are not.
Good
And
point.
when they put a burden on us, it has to be amplified to them, because it seems as if it's not taken as serious as it should be.
Absolutely, you're
And
right.
they'll pass something that the side effect could be something that they didn't know about in our business, like the brewery thing.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, it's fine for them, which is good. As I said, I love all those guys anyway, and they all make good products. but it hurts these guys over here.
Exactly.
Hurts us a little bit too. So if that's what it is going forward, there's a lot of people that have invested money in, let's say a restaurant, a sports restaurant. They
Absolutely.
have these gigantic TVs, they have these cable services, they have
Exactly.
a lot of things going on. And the next thing they know, a brewery opens up next to them,
Right.
and ba-boom.
Well,
They're
this really,
pedaling downstream.
I have to tell you, you were in the restaurant business, and one of the things that really, when I went out online this morning, and I'm looking at the state of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services. You ready, people? This is where what they're taxing now, okay? Ice cream, frozen yogurt, salad sold at salad bars, lettuce sold in containers, donuts, muffins, rolls, bagels, pastries. Are you paying attention? Cookies sold loose. I mean, I can't believe this, right? Prepackaged or factory sealed bags of chips, popcorn, kettle corn, nuts, trail mix, crackers, cookies, snack cakes, or other. You want to have a nap?
Wow.
Pizza, cooked chicken sold by the piece. This is where our money is going. 1,000 small cuts every time you buy a cooked ribs sold by the piece, okay? Hot dogs served on a bun or heated. How do you like that? Hot dogs served on a bun or heated. Bagels that are individually prepared. So if
I didn't know that.
yeah, you didn't know that either. Soup sold in containers, smoothies, okay. All beverages provided with the sale of a taxable meal. Food sold at a hot buffet. Are you people paying attention? This is Department of Revenue, okay, right on their website. And I could not believe it. I won't even go on. Oh, hard cider. Hey.
There you go.
Taxable drinks, okay, distilled alcohol,
Yep.
such as brandy, rum, whiskey, gin, fountain drinks of any kind, hard cider, kombucha tea, malt liquor. I'm not even going to go through the rest.
Some of those were taxed before, but the first, 25 you read, I think those are the new taxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So-
But I'm looking at it, but even if it's their old taxes, they're still taxes.
There's taxes. Oh, yeah.
They're still taxes.
So
we go in and get a bagel, we do not realize that we are also, I mean, how does the average person goes in and it says, okay, yeah, your bagel's $1.25. I'm making it up.
Yeah.
$1.25, but it's $1.33 really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I
'Cause you have
can't
to
do
pay
math worth
Because
a
you have
darn.
to pay the
so
tax.
yeah.
You're pretty close, though.
Oh, yeah, my good, because my kids
Pretty
laugh
close.
at me.
Not on
I
the
am
money, but
terrible
pretty
at
close.
math. I'm terrible at math. But when I looked at that today and I said to myself, people don't realize, like I said,
Right.
1,000 small cuts, okay, to the average person without even thinking about it, you know?
And that's all of us that go out and spend money. It's more money taken out of our pocket, given to the state, less money for us to spend at our
And
businesses.
supporting
Yeah.
you, supporting the pizza gentleman,
Right.
supporting the lady that sells dresses,
Yep.
or man that sells dresses. I don't care. But all I'm saying is, when is the legislature going to wake up and realize they got to stop taxing everything? Pretty soon, you know what? You and I are going to be taking two breaths, and we're going to be taxed for one.
Well, so far up there, they're not doing too good this year. The tolls didn't
Go anywhere.
get to where they thought they were going to go. And before the tolls in the last session were the plastic bags.
10 cents for a plastic.
5 cents. 5 cents for a plastic bag. But I think, from what I hear, and I'm not in contact with a lot of people during the week, but a few thousand people come into our store during the week. And they're insulted that they have to pay a nickel for a plastic bag. First of all, we've never had plastic bags in our
Right.
store. We always had paper bags. They're always free, and they're still free. We had a few plastic bags underneath for people that had injuries to their hands or their wrists, and they couldn't carry the plastic bag, the paper bag. I used
Yeah.
to give them the plastic bag. We don't even have those in the store anymore. We have only free bags
Okay.
in the store. But
yeah.
people are insulted
Absolutely.
They are mad that they have to pay that nickel for
And
a
you know
plastic
what?
bag. Because when they come into my store, they think they have to pay a nickel for the paper bag.
I'm going to tell you something. I think this is hilarious, okay? This is sexist, too. I don't mind saying it. I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, women, okay,
Good.
always went in and we got the bags and we carried them out, right? Now, I see as many or maybe more men carrying in those bags from their car.
Oh, yeah, canvas
they
bags.
will not give the
No,
state
right.
that money. There's a principle there that I'm not giving them another cent. You get enough of my money, and I love it. I love it. I compliment people. Oh, I'm so glad you got your bag. You know.
No, it's good. It's good for the environment. There's no doubt about it.
All right.
But the charge wasn't necessary.
No, it wasn't
No,
necessary.
all they had to do was say, stop giving out plastic bags.
Bags.
And that's it.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
they didn't have to
It's
charge us for
crazy.
that.
And you're right with the tolls. That annoys me.
Well, I
when-
think that the tolls being rejected as much as they were started from the plastic bag.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because we rebelled against the bag.
That's a rebellion against
And it's
being
everybody.
nickel to dime to death for some things that might be probably beneficial for the state. People have it in their mind. They don't want to give another penny
to
the
the
state
state
of Connecticut.
because
Yeah.
it's it's a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
They have
can
no.
Can I give you my plastic bag story?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
We have a lot of time here, so
Yes.
I got to get this off my mind.
I love this kind of guest, don't you? Go
Okay,
ahead.
so here I am, a guy. I want to get into business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me get into the candy business. I want to sell candy.
Right.
So I have to go out. I have to rent a spot.
Yep.
I have to do the whole interior. I have to have showcases, probably refrigeration. I have to have a new floor put in, a ceiling, special lighting, signage.
Yep.
I have to go to the local papers, the Chronicle, the Current, the Middletown Press, all these. I have to advertise that I'm now in business. You know, how we have a candy business
Yep.
at this new location.
Insurance.
I have to pay rent for that location. And we even do a little thing on TV, maybe even on Comcast, to advertise that we're here.
Yeah.
Okay? So we open the door. We have a grand opening. The Middlesex
Comes and
County
gets your
Chamber of
picture
Commerce
taken,
comes.
yeah.
We have Christy Carpino there. We have Senator Lesser there. We have Larry McHugh there, and we do the ribbon cutting. Right, the grand opening of Jay's Candy Store.
Yeah.
Okay. So all these people start coming in. Right. So now I get busy, and they're buying this candy, that candy, this one. Do you have this? I'm taking special orders. I'm putting it all together. I'm thanking the people for coming to my new business.
Absolutely.
Thanking them for coming into my new. I'm so happy. And then I'm putting all this stuff in a plastic bag. And then I say to them, well, you have to pay for the plastic bag.
I'm sorry.
You got to pay
That's a
5
perfect
cents.
ending, yeah.
You got to pay 5 cents for the plastic bag.
Yeah.
What am I, crazy?
Yeah.
I went through all this, and now I'm going to tell a person I got to pay a nickel for a plastic bag?
I thought it was 10 cents.
I got to shoe myself.
Are you sure it's 5 cents? I thought it was 10.
I don't know.
All right,
I
you don't
think
know
it's
anyway.
5 cents.
All right, 5 or 10 cents you got to pay. Right, go ahead.
Maybe it is 10 cents.
Maybe it's 10
I think it
cents.
is 10 cents.
My businessman
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah.
maybe it's
I don't
10
have them
cents.
in the store,
I
and I
know.
won't pay it when I
know.
go out.
I think it's 10 cents,
Yeah,
but
it's probably
we're giving him
probably is 10
Okay.
cents. But how do I have the nerve to tell that person that there they are? They have $100 worth
Worth
of
of
candy,
candy, and you're gonna charge them at
now
10
I got to
cents.
charge them an extra. Oh, you owe me an extra 10 cents?
Now, how, as a businessman, if you were to use these plastic bags, at the end of the month, do you have to send the state a check? How does that work?
Yeah, the state wants you to account for them on their sales tax form.
On their sales
tax form that we
So
pay
on
every
the-
30 days.
And so every 30 days,
We'd have to
you have
account
to
for
say,
those.
this is our sales tax, and this is for the bags?
Yeah.
So that's another thing you have to keep track of?
Yes, if I did that, if I had
I
plastic
know, if you did
bags.
it, I
Yeah.
was just saying,
Yeah,
but
another
that's,
thing we'd have to
that's
keep
what the
track
small
of.
businessman has, the mom and
Yes.
pop has to keep track of it. At the end of the month, or at the end of 30 days, they gotta sit down and say, oh, wow, okay, this is what we have to send the state for our tax, our sales tax, and then we have to send them this much for the plastic bags.
Yes, yes. And Of course, I've never done that because we don't have the plastic
Plastic
bags.
bags,
But
good.
there's one thing and I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what they charge me. I'll go into a grocery store or a hardware store, probably a hardware store.
Yeah.
And let's say it's the fall, and I need plastic bags to put the leaves in. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you buy those green plastic bags, they're that high, and you buy 50 in a box.
Yeah.
Well, when I get to the counter, I want to see if they're going to charge me for 50 bags or 51. If they're going to charge me for the one bag, that they're
put
going to put the other plastic bags
you
in.
do that, and I'll invite you back.
Yeah. I mean, are they really?
Yeah.
Is it going to be taxed there, or was it taxed when it came in the door? You know what I mean? That's a little.
I never thought about that.
I never did either until you called me up today and said,
Let's
"Come in and we'll
do
talk."
this. Let's come in and talk, right?
So it's either I pay for 50 bags, or I pay for one bag, or I pay for 51 bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made my whole day. Okay. All right. Now, let's see what else I have. The Connecticut Business and Industry Association sees business costs as one key challenge small businesses here face. And you already talked about it. In Connecticut, the cost of health care, energy costs, labor costs, and taxes are often higher across the board than in many other states.
It is,
Okay.
especially down south.
Especially down
Down
south.
south, it's cheaper.
Now, how are you going to, as I was reading, I think in October, and you pay more than you have to. Okay. But how about me as the little ice cream place? Okay. And I have young people come in, let's say teenagers come in. Okay. And I'm not a big business, you know, I'm a little business. And we're going to raise the wage now, I think in October to $12, and then next year it goes up to, I can't guess, but by 2023 it's supposed to be up to $15
$15,
an hour.
Yeah.
Now, how does a small business absorb those kind of labor costs when you're selling the same amount of ice cream?
Yep.
You're selling, you know, the same amount of sundaes. You're selling, you know, how do I absorb that without saying, I'm done. I can't be doing this.
Okay, so this is what happens. When that takes place, when the increase in wages take place, and you have to pay your employees more,
Yep.
if you try to raise the price of your product, you're taking a gamble that they might go someplace else where they did not raise the price of their product. Okay?
You're absolutely right.
You could
you're going to look around.
So you could end up you could be getting a higher price for your product but selling less of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's not going anyplace.
Nope, nope.
Okay. So what's the other answer? You have to take it out of your pocket.
You take it out of your pocket.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure, stay competitive with what's going on in the ice cream market.
Right, because now you have near you a little store with ice cream,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, and people come there with children.
Oh, yeah.
I've been
Yes.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and they
Yeah.
come there with children, and in order to absorb the the wages for the people that work there, you have to, instead of, I'm going to make a number up. Let's say $1 a cone. I'm just making that up. So you got $5. Now the next time I come in, it's $7.50 or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about that.
Or even $6.50 or $6. It's an increase.
Exactly.
It's an increase, right?
Why don't they think about these things before? Don't misunderstand me. I understand people need to make a living wage.
Yeah.
Please do not
no,
understand me.
I
However, I'm
agree.
trying to balance both ends, and I'm not doing very
Yeah,
well.
it's hard to do. It really is hard to do.
really hard
Yeah.
to do.
So the guy who owns the ice cream shop is going to go home with less in his pocket, less to spend someplace else, or he's
Yep.
going to pack it in and say, I had enough.
I've had enough.
Can't do it.
That's one of the things I've got against the tolls. Okay, we sit up here. We don't really have tolls around here. I don't know. They've been talking about 80 tolls, 50 tolls, this, that, and the next thing.
Okay, so do you want me to
Yes.
say something about tolls?
Yes.
Okay. So if tolls go into effect in the state of Connecticut for the truckers,
Yep.
it will affect everything that we do,
Okay.
because everything in our state is brought in by truck. Every product that we have is brought in by truck in our
Okay.
store.
Did you hear what this gentleman said who is in business? it will not just affect the truckers, it's going to affect all of us. Do it again.
Okay, it's going to be passed on to us, because some of these truckers can't absorb it.
Of course not.
They just can't, especially the independent guys. The bigger corporations, maybe they can too if they want to. But it will all be passed on to us. And depending on where their route is in the state of Connecticut, they could go through 4, even if there's only, say, 10 tolls in the whole state, depending on what their route is. They could pay an enormous amount just for one day's activity. Like the liquor companies delivering.
Yes.
They go here, they go here. Sometimes they have to go back to the warehouse and then go out again.
That's right.
Over the same toll, back over the same toll.
Exactly.
So we know it'll make our product be
Make
at
it
a
more
higher
expensive.
price. Yes.
And, and I'm also thinking about, I've been a waitress when I was 18 years
Yep.
old, okay? And I had to drive a bus, okay? And they are some of the people that don't have cars, or they live in a neighborhood where they can't afford to have a car because you got to pay to park it and all this stuff.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Especially the
so the people that really can't afford this extra money out of their pay and out of their pocket all the time are again the ones that are. It's not going to be the rich guy who gets into his car and has his driver take him to Stamford.
No.
It's going to be the little guy, and
It'll be the
I'm
little
so
guy
against that.
The little guy get hurt the most.
They will get hurt the most.
Yeah.
That just
Absolutely.
annoys the heck out of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how to get around it. And if they would stop spending our money like, I can't say drunken sailors because that
Well,
would be,
if they would throw us a little goodwill instead of what I consider not goodwill,
right,
how about just leaving everything the same for a year?
and see what happens.
And see what happens. See if,
Why do they always have to be putting their hands in our pockets?
I don't know. They want a money grab all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Pizza, slices of pizza, ice cream.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bullets are next. Yeah, bullets are coming.
Oh, bullets. You don't want to even go there.
Well,
I'm not even
I
going to
was
touch that.
Talking to somebody this morning, he's convinced that the tax is going to go through, so he's just going to go up and load up on bullets. That's a good remedy.
Yeah, exactly. Now
He's
tell
going to
me
have
something.
a closet full.
Okay, so we tax bullets. What's to keep me from, like with the liquor tax, remember? The people that went over the line?
Oh, they do that now. Yeah.
Do they really
Oh, yeah,
still?
they still do it.
Okay, so I didn't realize, I haven't heard anybody say
Oh,
that.
they'll be buying bullets in Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're so stupid up there. How
Well,
come
they got to figure something out. A lot of those guys aren't.
they don't know?
And as I said earlier, there should be more people that are in a small independent business, maybe to advise them a little bit more than what they have been. So their outlook could be just a little bit different. And
Maybe we need to put more businessmen up there and women.
An understanding of what's
Right,
going on.
right. Maybe
you
that's what. Maybe we need to change the legislature so
Yeah.
that the business person has, instead of being all these people that don't walk in the same shoes you and I walk in, have to live within our means, so to speak.
Yeah, there is a lot of those people up there. I think we just need a few more.
We need a few more.
Yeah.
We need some more
Yeah,
people
so
that
some of those
understand.
crucial votes might go the
A
other
little
way.
differently.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
all
think
right.
that might be a remedy for that.
Okay. Now, talk to me about family medical leave. Okay. All right.
I don't know how people like us can handle that. I don't know.
You do realize that this family medical leave they sound so wonderful. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not against family medical leave, but I want everybody to recognize that the workers are going to be paying for this, not the employers.
Right.
Not the employers. The workers are going to be, you're going to be, okay, one of those is the new paid family medical leave passed last spring by the legislature, signed by the governor, okay? And under that, benefits would be available in January 2022. It would provide up to 12 weeks of replacement wages. Sounds very good, doesn't it? Payable on a sliding scale to a maximum of 95%. However, workers, please listen to the word, workers will fund the program with a payroll tax of 0.5% to start. Okay, so here we go again. Okay, workers are going to fund it,
Yes.
not employers.
Right.
Okay,
So how are the mechanics of this going to work?
that's going to be a good question,
Yeah.
isn't it? So all of a sudden, when you're figuring your paychecks out for your people,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now you've got to take out more money because they're going to have to pay for
Contribute to that fund, yes.
contribute to that fund. But they're not saying that. Up in Hartford, they're not running around saying, "Oh, this is good." They're saying, "This is so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful." Yeah, but the workers are going to pay for it again. If you want to do that, at least do your homework and pay attention and be honest and tell people where the money's
Well,
coming
true
from.
disclosure on that should be
Absolutely.
paramount. Now, how are they going to get paid? Is the employer going to pay, or is the state of Connecticut going to pay them?
They haven't said so
And then
far.
what is it in a timely manner, or is it does it take after you put your claim in
Yeah. What happens?
that you're on leave?
Yeah.
Does your employer give you a check every week, or does the state give you a check who has been withholding your money?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
a-
if that's clear
You
in the
know,
bill
that-
or not.
No. What I was reading, it didn't differentiate to where you're going to get the money from.
Yeah.
And it also says that what it's going to affect is the small business person like you,
Yes.
because you're going to have to give that person 12 weeks off. What are you going to do about that? I mean, you're going to have to get somebody else to work there, but you're still going to have 2 people on your payroll?
That is correct. As I said, the payment from their own funding of this.
Yeah, they'll have the money from there.
They'll have the let's say they have the money from that, but I'm short one employee. In a small business, that's vital, especially on
I was gonna say,
especially on the weekends.
I was gonna say,
so we'd have to
especially-
bring somebody else in if we can get some money.
Exactly,
You know.
and you're a perfect example because I've talked to you and said, "Are you going to go to such and such a thing?" And you say, "No, I can't because I don't have the coverage today.
Right.
I can't go. I can't go to the chamber meeting. I can't go to this. I can't
Right.
go to that."
That happens often.
And exactly
Yeah.
to small business.
Yes, that happens often to every small business owner.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
that's not
you know,
unusual.
it's
No,
just
it's part of the territory.
it's part of the
Yeah.
territory.
The birthday
but-
parties I've missed and the other family events, baseball games and things like that. You can't make those up.
You can't make them
No,
up.
no.
No, you really,
No,
really
but
can't.
you're in business for yourself. You're a small business guy, and that's part of the territory. You got to accept that.
You got to
going in.
accept it.
Yeah, you accept
What's the
that.
incentive now to be a small business guy?
Well, with Pratt Whitney United Aircraft looking for help, high-paying jobs down there. I don't know.
It's true, isn't it?
It's almost you want to go to work for them rather than try to
Than try and
gamble
open
on a
your own
small
business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then have the
absolutely.
regulations change on you midstream, and you find out you went from a profitable business to a non-profitable business.
Yeah, see, that's
There's a
those
lot.
are the
There's a
kind
lot
of
of
things.
risk.
And we go back to the beginning where we say that Connecticut is so dependent on our small businesses. 99.4% of the companies in the state are considered small.
I know.
So now we throw up, you got to pay your help more, and then you can have people out for 12 weeks. So then you're up the creek there. You need to find somebody else. You're competing with the big businesses. I mean, it's very tough to be a small business
It is.
person in the
It is.
state of Connecticut.
It is.
And you're the backbone of the state.
Yeah. And all we want is to be treated fairly. That's all we want.
And how do you get the
stop trying to
legislators' attention?
and stop trying to get into our pockets all the time, or create legislation that has a side effect to be detrimental to our business. Think it
really-
out. Think
they-
it out more before you do it.
They have to think things through before
Yes.
they shoot from the hip.
Right.
Can I say that? Shoot from the hip? Hey, what the heck? Well, never mind.
Can we
But-
talk about marijuana too? while we're
Sure,
here?
go
All
right
let's,
ahead.
Let's talk about marijuana. So the buzz talk is, well, they have it in Massachusetts, New York is passing it, Rhode Island's going to have it, and we should get it, based on because they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's a bad
Everybody's got to
reason.
climb on
That's
the
a
same.
bad reason.
You're darn right it is.
We have to do some. Let's do some. I'm not against marijuana. Don't get me wrong. Legalized recreational marijuana. We have medical marijuana now,
Yep.
which is helpful to a lot of people. which I have found this out personally from people that have called me. But recreational marijuana, let's do our research. Let's do the state of Connecticut research
Absolutely.
on this and find out the right numbers, because the monkey see, monkey do thing, it doesn't work out all the time. Although this might be one of the cases where it would, let's just find out for ourselves.
I was going to say, I like that. I like the way you're saying that.
Yeah.
Why immediately do we have to follow
Right.
the leader?
Right.
Why can't we sit back for a year and a half to see how's it affecting the driving? How's it affecting kids that don't show up for work or don't show up for school? How's it affecting the family lives? All these things, and I'm honest and say
Yeah.
to you that alcohol.
Weigh all the factors.
Yes,
Yeah, let's see if there's any
absolutely.
increases in accidents and deaths and head-on collisions,
Yeah.
in
Before we jump-
emergency room visits.
I was going to say, before we
I
jump
mean, let's
off the
check
bridge.
those stats first before we really jump into it, because we're doing it because Massachusetts did it.
Exactly.
That's not a good reason.
Now tell me, this is one of the questions that I personally would like to know. I've heard you mention and other people mention lobbyists. That you have to have a lobbyist, or do you have to have people that will keep their eye on what's going on in the legislature so you don't get blindsided?
Well, for us small business guys, we have to have a lobbyist, yes. I mean,
Tell
it's
me what a
man-
lobbyist does.
Well, he's up there, he has the pulse of what's going on,
That's what I wondered.
what the introduction of the new bills are gonna be, if they're actually gonna come up for a vote, for a public hearing. You've seen public hearings on TV, they show.
yes,
They just had
please.
one recently on the vaccine issue up at the Capitol, very contentious
Right.
situation between get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated, all the parents that were up there. Our lobbyist tips us off way in advance before any of that stuff happens with liquor issues.
Oh, good.
That's what his
Okay.
job is
That's
up
what, that's
there,
what I wondered.
is for him to find
Yeah,
out.
because, the average person, we hear the word lobbyist.
Yes.
And to us, it might mean that you're there pushing just for your own interest, whereas they really just keep an eye on what's going on and,
Well, we don't want to be in everybody's business, but we want to be in our business. And
Absolutely.
is there something coming up that could be harmful to us, unknowing to the legislature?
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And if it does come up and there's a public hearing, we're alerted of it, and we're given the details of what's in that bill. And should we be up there to talk about it and give them the facts? Because they really don't have the facts. They have it from people that talk about it, that are trying to generate. It's all about tax money, as we know, generate more tax money.
Tax money, yep.
So they have to be given the correct facts from the people that actually do that kind of work, the small business guy. And that's what we do up there. When there's a public hearing, we show up and we give them the actual facts, not hearsay or anything. This is solid, written in concrete facts. This is what's going on. And they're appreciative to that, too.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
can understand that.
Yeah, they
you
get
know?
the straight scoop. We're not lying to them. There's no reason for us. They could prove it
Exactly.
out anyway. They could fact
Right.
check us.
Do they really listen?
Some do.
Some do.
Others seem to have
Blinders on?
different interests, which maybe has nothing to do with liquor, but they think it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, so they do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because, it's kind of hard for us, the people that are watching and part of this, and they are part of this, to make sense out of some of the things that come out of the legislature.
I have another example of that too.
Go ahead. That's why I invited you. Go.
Okay, so this is recent now. This is hot off the presses, I guess you can call it. We have wonderful wineries in our state. The people that own the wineries went out, they bought land, or they had family land.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They bought vines, they grew quality grapes,
Yeah.
they crush them, they bottle them. It's wine from the state of Connecticut.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
like
n-
anything from the state of Connecticut, yep.
So recently, in the past few weeks, out of the clear blue sky, it's like an alligator popping up out of the middle of this room.
Yep.
Someone comes up with the idea, okay, so now we're going to change that law, where those grapes don't have to be grown in the state of Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
Okay? They could be grown by a winery any place, even out of country,
Oh, boy.
brought into the state of Connecticut. Okay? So here's the bottle of wine. You drop one grape in from the state of Connecticut, and all the other grapes come from someplace else, and there it is, the state of Connecticut wine.
Oh, my Lord.
So you say how things could pop up out of nowhere. And there was no discussion or anything on this, and all of a sudden, I don't want to mention his name, but he pops up, and this is his proposal. So now, then they don't have to have land. They don't have to have a winery or anything. They can do this, and it's state of Connecticut wine. Whereas the regulation now says that you must own the land, you must own the vines, you must own the vineyard, you must crush them.
And when it says
in a
state of
certain
Connecticut,
way.
it means
state of Connecticut. That's right. That's right.
Oh, my Lord.
They have allowed the state of Connecticut wineries to put a small percentage, a very small percentage of juice from other states into their Connecticut wine to enhance a very small amount.
And now, when you say other states, United States? Or
United States.
Okay.
You can go to a different country, too.
You can go to a different country?
Yes, you can go to a different
so
country.
it could come from China?
Yes, it can.
Have they heard the word Corona?
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, come on. We don't know how people plow their land and what they fertilize with and all that stuff, which is one of my bugaboos.
Right.
I like that says, grown in the United States, made in the United States, because I know what I'm getting.
But
I don't want to know.
You can be assured that these wineries that are invested heavily, some for millions of dollars, that are invested heavily, everything is correct in that bottle of wine that says,
of course,
made in Connecticut.
Made in Connecticut.
Whereas this other system that they're trying to implement, there's going to be a bill coming up, or supposedly a bill coming up. These grapes can come from anywhere and could have the state of Connecticut on it. State of Connecticut
that's so wrong.
Right, but it's an example of how out of nowhere could something like this pop up.
just pop up.
Yeah. I mean, what could the motivation be behind someone doing that? It doesn't make any sense.
Money.
But what kind of money can they get?
Well, you know what? If I'm paying you and you got Connecticut land and you got Connecticut this and you got Connecticut labor and you got but you can get it from China, and you're not, you're just not paying that much, to bring it in and put it in my bottle that says state of Connecticut.
Okay, so if that were a federal government doing that, I might have a more understanding of that. But why would you want to
do that in Connecticut?
Have our successful wineries become now unsuccessful?
I guess people, you better pay attention to what's going on up there. You better pay attention.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you.
So that's one obstacle that the wineries have, and we feel for them because we sell a lot of Connecticut wines.
Connecticut wines.
And they're all of good quality.
I have to be honest with you. When I go into a store and it says "Made in the USA," I'm going to pick that one up.
Well, you have confidence.
One that
exactly.
Than one I don't know where it came from. So I don't care. Say I'm prejudiced. But I believe in the USA. I believe in our commerce. I believe in the quality of the things that we have. And so
you believe in God we trust?
I certainly do believe in God we trust. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Not so much with the legislature, but God.
God.
God. He and I understand each other.
In God we trust.
Yep, I really do.
Do you believe in Kate Smith singing "God Bless America" at Yankee Stadium?
I have it on a tape that I play constantly. I love her singing that. Yes, if push comes to shove, I'm a patriot.
I do too. I don't know why the New York Yankees folded on that one, but that was very upsetting to me. I was born in New York, so.
Were you born in? I was
born in Portchester, New York.
I was born in Nyack, New York.
Okay.
Right on the Hudson River.
Yeah. There you go.
But because of my background, coming out of a foster home, Cromwell has become my hometown.
Well, it's my home now.
Yeah, it's our hometown.
Sure, absolutely.
It's really, really good.
Absolutely.
Now, you also. This goes back to when you used to whisper in my ear before you married your wife. No, I'm only kidding. That was a joke. You used to work in a bowling alley.
Yes, and that was my life pre 20 years old.
Why don't you open one in Cromwell again?
Well, we did. We had one in Cromwell. I worked for a gentleman called Joe Cambereri.
Oh.
And we met when I was 14 or 15 years old in New York. I used to work in a bowling alley in New York at that young age. That's another story altogether. We started off on pinball machines, and for some reason I had a knack for these automatic pin setters, and I was able to get a job there. at that time underage, and then when I was 16, I got the legal job there. But anyway, I met him when I was about 14 or 15, and he always used to watch me bowl, and we used to bet on games and things like that. But
Oh,
won't
good. We
talk
just
too
got
much.
shut off.
So,
You bet
yeah.
on games and stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
So anyway, he decided one day that he wanted to get into the bowling business, asked me if I wanted to work for him. I said, sure. So we ended up, I moved out of my house. I was 17 years old.
17.
Moved to New Haven with Joe. We opened a bowling alley there in September of 1960. We opened another one 30 days later in Hamden, and another one 30 days later in Cromwell.
Wow.
90 days. We had a 90-day stretch there where we didn't sleep much.
I bet you didn't sleep.
So we got to Cromwell, and when I got to Cromwell, I'd never been to a place like Cromwell before. This was a farm town. There was cows. There
farm
was,
town.
old pickup trucks.
Right.
And I stayed here.
Yep.
I stayed here.
Yeah, it's now our
And
hometown.
the
You're
bowling alley that we had
right.
was
Right.
to this area was phenomenal.
Right.
They came from Middletown. They came from Rocky Hill. Everybody came to see this bowling alley.
I love
we had
that.
a very successful building.
That is great. I just wanted to show everybody that you diversified, right? I mean,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
done so many different
Oh,
thing,s
yeah.
and I think that's great.
Oh, yeah.
So have I. I've
I
been
got a long
waitress
list.
I know,
Yeah.
but you know what? You learn something from every one of them. You learn
Yes.
something from every one of them,
Yes,
you know?
do.
So it's just amazing to me. That, well, you know what? We're getting towards the end of this.
Okay.
And we got just a couple of minutes, maybe 4, maybe not that much.
Okay.
But what would you like to say to the audience right now as a small businessman? Something positive, otherwise I'll have to get you cut out of this.
Well,
No,
we
say
gotta-
something.
We
What
got to
is-
be positive on everything that we do, because we live in a state where there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of things that exist here. In spite of our expenses here, we have to hustle a little bit more to pay. But we live in a wonderful state, and I'm fortunate enough, like you, to live in this wonderful town. I mean,
Yep.
we're really on the upswing here. In all of Middlesex County, we're lucky to have a leader like Larry McHugh involved in the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce. We're lucky to have Christy Carpino as our representative and Senator Lesser as our senator
And what's
at the
nice about
Capitol.
that was I'm butting in, one
Yeah.
is a Republican and one is a Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to
it's
say
what-
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And they're sympathetic
Yeah.
to our needs, and they bring it up to the state capitol. And we're all able to make a living in this state. There's a shortage of labor in this state.
Right.
So they talk about people moving out, there's going to be people moving in. Because
Right.
they need people, an electric boat. We have to make those submarines for the United States of America.
You're darn right.
We have to make those airplane engines
Yep.
for Boeing
Whitney.
and Lockheed and for the United
Yep.
States of America for
And Pratt and Whitney.
for Pratt.
Yep. So,
So there's a lot of opportunity here. We're lucky to
right.
be here, and I'm lucky to be here. Lucky
Me
to be here,
too.
and I'm lucky to be your friend.
yes, I'm lucky to have you too.
Thank you.
Okay, we're coming to the end of our show. And as every time, I want to just thank all of our military, our first responders, the police, all the unsung heroes that get out there every day, do their jobs, don't ask for anything. And I'm sure I missed anybody. Missed the veterans, okay, and the educators, and all those people that make this a great, great country. And this is a great country, and we're very, very lucky to be here. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. Good night.